right now. I'm feeling it. The air is so cold and low. I'm feeling it. Let me go in her room. I'm feeling it. I wanna take off her clothes.
Dude, come on. The video. Come on. We're doing the show, man.
Hey, guys. Welcome to the very first installment of the Chubby Bubble. 3 chubbies, 1 couch, 1 camera. This is it. It is 4:41 in the morning, by the way. We've been working on this for way too long, so if this is going to be a weekly show, you guys got to start paying us $10 a week. Just kidding, it's for fun. Basically, this show is going to be a somewhat comedy, somewhat serious. It's going to be all serious opinions, but there's probably going to be a few laughs along the way. I want to bring this up real quick. This has nothing to do with the show, but we are bringing Psych back.
Yeah.
Like one of these,
Like Mike, tell me.
Psych.
No, that's my Psych.
Alright, gotcha.
Psych.
Oh, yeah, we're bringing that back, so be ready.
You see that?
Be ready.
He got Psych.
Anyway, this particular show of the week, we're going to go through a couple things. First segment of the day is going to be Magic Bananas. Now, what that is it's a fantasy football segment where we each have a starter, someone that you would want to put on your bench, and somebody that you might be able to pick up from the free agent pool in fantasy football. After Magic Bananas, we are going to move to a segment called Bubble Bursters, which is a segment that we came up with where all 3 of us are going to have a question for the rest of the group that we do not tell them before we film the show. So they're going to have to come up with it off the top of their head, which is not something that either of these 2 are good at, so I should own that.
You know that. You know that.
After that, we're going to move into the segment called Teach Me How to Chubby. And if you're nice, that might have us dancing. Basically what Teach Me How to Chubby is, it's basically just a question and answers column that we get from the rest of y'all. Basically each week you guys send us questions. We're going to pick 3 each week and we're going to attack them. Like Art attacked, I'm not going to
Bagel in like 2 hours.
There we go. Finally, after that, we're going to go move to the Not So Slim Pick'ems. That sounds pretty self-explanatory. All we're going to do is we're going to list the games and we're going to give you our picks for that week. So if you're struggling, Chubbies will help you out. So now we're going to kick it off with Magic Bananas, which hopefully this guy will be able to explain. Oh, and by the way, I am medium chubby.
Medium.
Big chubby.
Big.
And this is little chubby. Most of you who are watching this probably know that by now. But, by the way, just to clear this up, the whole chubby nickname did not come from wiener sizes. Everybody asks, that's not what it's about, it's from a video game.
Oh.
We'll explain that later if you want. But, anyway, Magic Bananas.
Alright, put your hand away. Quiet down, man. Alright, Magic Bananas. Great name, really simple concept here. You pick each person here picks 1 person they want to start that you should start this week. 1 person you should probably sit and a pickup of the week. All right. We will start with Jeremy, and your stardom for this week was Danny Amendola. Can you explain why?
More or less, Sam Bradford is kind of coming into his own in St. Louis. Also with the recent injury to Mark Clayton. Amendola already was one of his top receivers out there, and he's a slot receiver. So, he's going to get a lot of looks, a lot of undercut routes and everything. So, I just think he's going to put up 15 to 20 points a game.
Good point, Will. All right. Next, Mike, we have his starting pick for the week is Todd Heap, tight end for Baltimore.
Todd Heap, he could actually kind of go into the category of stardom and possibly pick up some pretty unowned in a lot of leagues. Basically, the New England Patriots give up a lot of big plays and a lot of yards to opposing tight ends and to give up a lot of yards in the middle of the field. Plus, there's probably going to be a lot of throwing in this game where Flacco might have to look down to his safety valve more than 4 or 5 times. So.
Good stuff. All right, my stardom pick for the week is Liddell Betts, running back for the New Orleans Saints. This week, Pierre Thomas misses. touching my hand. Okay, my hand's going over here now. And Liddell Betts, Pierre Thomas is going to miss his third straight start due to ankle injury. But Liddell Betts will be starting this week, and he will split time with Corey Ivory?
Chris Ivory.
Chris Ivory. Pretty mixed up.
We're
And-
credible, by the way. We're a credible source.
They also signed Julius Jones this past week after he got cut by Seattle. But another thing, Tampa Bay is ranked 20th against the run, so assuming that New Orleans gets a big lead and can build up, which I think they're not desperate, but they're due for a good victory like that. That should get some looks. All right, we'll transition into Sid'em. Your Sid'em picks for the week. We'll start with Jeremy, and he picked Peyton Hillis from Cleveland, the running back.
Yes, I'm going with Peyton Hillis. I know it sounds a little crazy. His last few weeks he's put up 20 and 25 points a week, and everything's looking good, but a lot of reports say he's a little bit banged up and everything. He's also going against the Pittsburgh Steelers steel curtain defense right there, so
Good way to put that.
I was.
You wanted
I
that.
was. Steel curtain, So, I don't see him maybe getting too many looks. Maybe we want to save him for some future weeks down the line. So, probably look to maybe sit Peyton Hillis as much as we really might want to play.
Good player, bad matchup. Simple as that. All right, next we'll go to Mike, and his Sid'em pick for the week is Cal Orton, quarterback for Denver.
Kyle Orton, this is a tough one because I didn't think he was going to do much last week against Baltimore, and he still put up in the mid-20s, maybe even 30s. I'm not 100% sure. I'll check that.
Quite possible.
Quite possible. But it's hard to deny the fact that he's still going up against Darrell Revis as well as Antonio Cromartie. Not to mention that Rex Ryan loves to send crazy exotic blitzes that McDaniels just might not be ready for. And let's face it, Kyle Orton is not Peyton Manning now. That said, he still should get more respect than he does, especially considering the year he's having. But this is the Jets defense we're talking about. There's not much room to read there. So.
My Sid'em pick for the week is Calvin Johnson from Detroit.
Okay, Megatron.
Thanks, I'm going to put the words out of my mouth. Megatron will not.
Is this
Yeah, it's my segment. Come on.
Sorry, Dave.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
All right. Cal Johnson and Lions offense is facing the number one ranked defense in the NFL, and also the number one ranked pass defense in the NFL. Assuming the Giants go up early, they're going to have to throw, but Cal Johnson's already banged up with a leg injury, and I have a feeling they're going to try to establish the run early. So
I'm banging.
Whoa!
that just happened. So my advice would be to sit Cal Johnson this week, as hard as it is to sit a top talented receiver like that. All right, we will go to pickup of the week next, and we will start with Jeremy, who picked Brandon Tate, wide receiver for New England.
It's Brendan Tate. If you guys were catching any of the Patriots game last week, you might have noticed last week or 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Even with Randy Moss still on the Patriots then, Brendan Tate got a lot of looks. There's a couple touchdowns as well at that. So now that Randy Moss is gone, I think that totally ups his value. Also, even with the addition, if you're a little bit sketchy that maybe Deion Branch is going to get a lot of the catches. He's still very new to the system. He was really picked up in last week, so I still think that Tom Brady's got a lot of trust in Brandon Tate, so and get him the ball out.
The dual threat too in the return game.
Solid pickup.
Dual threat. There we go. Next pickup is Mike, and he picked Anthony Armstrong, receiver for the Redskins.
Anthony Armstrong, you probably haven't heard. If you're a Packer fan, you've heard of him because he killed us last week.
I heard.
Basically, he's just becoming a little bit more involved in the offense. Mike Shanahan said he wants to get him more and more and more involved as the season progresses. He's a young receiver, and Donovan McNabb has already looked at him a couple times. Specifically this week he could be useful because they're playing against the Colts, where there's a good chance they will be down, and if not, they're still going to be close throwing the ball. So if Santana Moss isn't open and Chris Cooley's not open, who's next is
Anthony Armstrong.
Yeah, sorry.
I think he's probably possibly turned into a viable deep threat for that offense since Joe Galloway hasn't performed maybe the expectations.
And
He's 38 years old.
They've never had a deep threat there besides Santana Moss, but now they have a quarterback, so that creates deep threats.
My pickup for the week is Aaron Hernandez, tight end for the New England Patriots. He might already be picked up in some leagues, some ESPN and Yahoo leagues, but if he is not, check your league. If he is not, that is the guy to pick up, for sure. Aaron Hernandez, he will probably be their possession guy now that Randy Moss is gone. He's their only literally large threat with Moss gone. They brought in Brandon Tate's a small guy. I mean, like half the size of Jeremy. That's like it's like 3 feet tall.
Like me.
It's like the size of a leopard.
Oh man, that's
They got-
short.
They got brought Dan Branch back in. Still, good receiver, but they don't have the possession guy. I think Aaron Hernandez will be that guy. If anything, he's more of a receiver than a tight end anyway. So in that offense, I look for Aaron Hernandez to be a huge threat now that Moss is gone. All right, that's gonna wrap up Magic Bananas. And next we'll go to Bubble Bursters. This is a segment where we ask each other questions that we did not discuss prior to the live recording. I'll kick things off with my question for you two. And
Who's answering for me? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, let's see.
do you think Commissioner Goodell will make an example out of Favre and suspend him, even though he's arguably the NFL's prime ratings producer?
Woohoo!
It's a dandy, huh?
Shame, my friend. That's good. Do I think that they will suspend him? I do not, because the situation is not. It's an unfortunate situation, and it's much like the whole Tiger Woods thing. But it's not anything that affects football. Plus, are you really going to suspend a guy that started in 700,000 games straight? I kind of wish he would. I think the guy's a douchebag, but it doesn't matter. I mean, Tiger Woods wasn't suspended from golf when he did it, so I don't think that they're going to suspend him.
Does his personal life carry over? I mean,
If it was something that harmed somebody, yeah.
yeah,
But this didn't harm anybody, so.
sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna say he's not gonna be suspended as well. Just like Mike previously stated, he's the leading the league as far as for starts go. He's held that record for how many years already now, and it just keeps building up. Also another good point, he's the high stats leader, ratings wise as well for TV. So, it really comes down to, Wallace himself, is it going to affect him personally? Possibly not. Things been around the league long enough to know that it shouldn't affect his game.
Yeah,
So
so separated.
Separation of church and state, more or less, maybe not church and state,
I
but
love Qdoba.
women and football.
They go together hand in
They
hand.
do, they sure do.
Your question.
Like steak and cheese. Steak. All right, Jerry, your bubble burster?
Alright, so my bubble burster for the week, we're switching gears over to baseball in this one. And in particular, we're talking about the Yankees and the Texas Rangers. So, obviously, you guys know that the series is tied up 1-1. They split the games in Texas's home. The Rangers lost a big, crucial game in the first matchup. Really saddening, especially because I hate the Yankees. But, that's a whole other topic. So, my question is to you, do you think the Rangers are going to pull this out, being that they have 3 games that they have to go to New York and play against a pretty hostile crowd?
As much as I want them to, I don't think they will because of the Yankees pitching rotation. It's I think by far the strongest in the American League as well as the National League. Excuse me. And granted, both games have been really close, and on top of that, the Rangers should be up 2-0, except for one, 5-run inning by the Yankees, 8th inning, game 1. But as much as I want them to, I don't think they will. I think it's the Yankees rotation is gonna them in the World Series.
Game 3 is what's going to decide it, if you ask me. Game 3, you got Cliff Lee going up against Andy Pettit. If Cliff Lee can pull that one out, and the Rangers can get out of it, they just got to get one win then, because if they can't, they have to win one game. And if Cliff Lee can get it, they can get it back to Texas for game 6 and 7 and maybe pull it out. On paper, New York's just better coach, better team, better pitching, better hitting.